gotta go. Like,
Wait, what you wearing now?
sweatpants.
Right, what's your biggest hit? When a boy gets hit by like a slow-moving car.
Alright y'all, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about female attraction. What women are attracted to in men. And this is something that men have struggled with since the beginning of time. But in this video, we're going to break down exactly what you need to do to be the most attractive to women possible. And I'm going to be breaking it down into 3 different pillars of attraction that are the most fundamental core concepts of it. And here's the thing that you need to understand is that both men and women, we don't get to decide what we're attracted to. Attraction is just a biological instinct that's shaped by evolution. One of the biggest mistakes that men make when trying to attract a woman is to assume that male and female attraction is the same, but it is not. And that's because we have evolved different roles and we need different things out of a partner, which is why we're attracted to different things. And of course, women and men both have all sorts of different preferences when it comes to attraction, but there are certain parts of attraction that are immutable because they are so core to our fundamental evolutionary needs. I call these the 3 pillars of attraction because they are attractive to essentially all women on the planet. These are looks, behavior, and status. If you can optimize these 3 aspects of your life, you will be attractive to almost all women. The first pillar of attraction we're going to talk about is looks because it's arguably the least important aspect of female attraction. And I know this is crazy to some guys, but women care a lot more about a male's behavior and status than his looks. Whereas us guys, if we don't find a woman attractive physically, we just cannot date her. For women, it's totally different. Women need to have stability and security and provisioning in their lives, which is why they're able to care a little bit less about physical attraction than men. Women still care about good looks in men for the same reason that men care about good looks in women. It all has to do with signaling good genes and healthiness. Alright, so what do women find most physically attractive? First thing is a large, lean, broad, B-tapered, muscular physique. And the reason that women find this attractive is because it shows that they're able to defend against predators or enemies, which gives them security. It shows that you have good health, that you're dominant, and that you are ambitious and have discipline. These are all things that are very valuable to a woman. And this is the same for height. Women are attracted to tall men because they're perceived to be more dominant, which makes a woman feel more secure. They just want to feel small compared to their man. Next is bilateral body symmetry, which is this axis right here. Humans are designed to be symmetrical across this axis. So any variations in symmetry from the left to the right part of the body is usually caused by things like genetic abnormalities or genetic noise, injuries, infections, or anything that is negative to your health. Symmetry is attractive because it shows you have good genes and that you are healthy, once again. Next is a sharp, defined jawline. And this one's interesting. A sharp, defined jawline is attractive, 1, because it shows you have a low body fat percentage, you're not a fatty. And 2, sharp, defined jawlines are only possible for high testosterone individuals. The lower testosterone you have, the less sharp your jawline is going to be. And here's the thing about testosterone. Testosterone inhibits the immune system. So only individuals with effective immune systems are able to afford a high testosterone. It's essentially a cost that the individual must bear to have a high testosterone. A sharp, defined jawline signals that not only do you have a high testosterone, which is attractive to women, but it also shows you have a healthy immune system and a low body fat percentage, all being valued by women. And this goes along with the other masculine facial features. A sharp, chiseled jawline is considered masculine, just like a prominent brow ridge, facial angularity, strong cheekbones, and facial hair. These are all attractive to women because these are secondary sexual characteristics. They are sexually dimorphic, meaning they are different between men and women. And this is what you'll notice is that a lot of things that women find attractive in men are sexually dimorphic because it allows us to differentiate between men and women. The next thing is clear, even, smooth skin. The reason that women find this attractive is because skin is a very good indicator of the internal health of a human being. If you have a poor diet, hormone imbalances, infections, poor hygiene, it's going to reflect in your skin. Your skin's going to start looking worse. It's going to be oily. It's going to be covered in acne. And this is all an indicator that your internal health is not as good as it can be. Next is white teeth and white scleras. And the scleras are the white part of the eye. These are both meant to be white, so if you have a bunch of blood vessels in your eye or yellowness or dirtiness of the teeth, it shows that you have bad health or bad hygiene. The next thing is clean and thick hair, and this is because balding can be a sign of bad genetics, but that doesn't mean that you're instantly going to be unattractive if you're bald. It just means that if your hair is thinning pretty bad, shave that shit off, and if you have a decent thick head of hair, you need to get a good cut and make sure that it's clean and healthy. The next pillar of attraction is behavior, and this is probably going to be your best bet at attracting a woman. The reason for this is that looks maxing and acquiring status both take years and years of work, whereas behavior can be changed pretty quickly. The behaviors that women find attractive in men are just manifestations of high status. High status men will naturally perform a certain set of behaviors, and these are the exact behaviors that women find attractive. So the key to behaving in an attractive way towards women is to do the things that high status men normally do. However, certain behavioral patterns are more effective in acquiring a short-term versus a long-term relationship. But what I'm going to argue right now is that you should focus way more on these short-term relationship behavioral patterns because they are going to elicit the most raw and real sexual attraction and arousal, whereas the long-term relationship behavioral patterns are going to elicit more of a companionate type of affection. When trying to be attractive to women, it's more important to elicit real sexual attraction because that's harder to do and more important in the beginning stages of a relationship. Once sexual attraction is established, it's totally possible that you can transition a short-term relationship into a long-term relationship, but at the start of the relationship and when you're just meeting her, you need to focus on the short-term behavioral patterns to arouse real attraction. First behavior we're going to start off with is confidence. I'm sure you've heard this over and over again, and it's the most obvious. Every woman says she wants a confident man, but it is true. All confidence is the mental feeling that you can do anything you want to do, that you're the fucking man no matter what anyone else says, and nobody can tell you otherwise. The reason that confidence is attractive is because it signals competency, dominance, ambition, all things that women find valuable. Also, women tend to have higher levels of anxiety than men. They worry a lot more, so women like to have a partner that is confident so that he can reassure them and know that everything is going to be all right. The next behavior is very similar to confidence, but it's more specific, and it's called frame control. What frame is the narrative or worldview that you use to define reality. And a lot of the times when you're having a conversation with someone, there is an implicit negotiation that occurs on whose version of reality you're going to accept. Subconsciously, one person in the interaction is going to take control of the frame, and they're going to be the ones that are defining the narrative of the conversation and reality. And you have to be the one that takes control of the frame as a man because it is associated with confidence and dominant behavior. It's very easy as a weak man to just give up the frame to the woman because most men pedestalize women and they're scared to talk to them. So when they do end up talking to a woman, they just give away the frame and let her control the interaction. This is what kills the attraction. Because confident, dominant men naturally just control the frame and they believe that their interpretation of reality is the correct one, so they're not going to let the woman change the narrative just because she's attractive. It's all social dominance, and let me give an example. Let's say a woman comes up to you and gives sort of a backhanded compliment and says something like, "That's an interesting outfit." If you had a weak frame, you would respond with, "Why? What's wrong with it? I like it." Or if you had a strong frame, you'd be like, "You're damn right it's an interesting outfit. Makes women flock to me." Some bullshit like that, you know? Next is humor. Women find humor very attractive because it's an indicator of intelligence. In order to be funny, you need to be able to recognize patterns, understand things and how they work, and be able to present them in a funny way. Most people think that they are more intelligent than they really are. So it's often hard for people to recognize when people are more intelligent than them. Humor, however, is unmistakable and it's much harder to be faked because it stimulates a positive emotion. Along with that is actual intelligence and wisdom. And the reason that women find intelligence and wisdom attractive is because intelligent men are more likely to make good decisions that benefit the women. Next is to have a balance of light and dark qualities, or good and evil qualities. And this is kind of paradoxical because women will always tell a man, "I want a nice guy, a kind guy who treats me right." But then they often end up dating the asshole. And the reason that they say this is because the darkness arouses them and the niceness keeps them. There's evidence to suggest that women are attracted to dark triad or so-called evil traits in men, which men are very confused by because we're always told by women that they want a nice, compassionate man. But here's why. Women are sometimes attracted to these dark triad evil traits because it shows that these men are better at acquiring resources and defending the woman if they need to. Dark triad, more deceitful and less empathetic men are usually better at ascending status hierarchies, which means that they're capable of earning more money. But you have to have a balance between these good and bad qualities because the woman doesn't want to think that you're going to use these bad qualities on her. She wants you to be good towards her and bad towards your enemies. The next behavior is dominance and leadership. And women are attracted to these dominant men because they're often more valued by society and can get more of what they want. Dominant people usually take up a lot more space. They have a tall and open body posture, and dominant leaders are usually more decisive and aggressive. The next behavior is to be playful and adventurous with women. The real world is often very mundane and depressing. Women like to fantasize about their man and come up with their own stories about who the man is in their mind. Playfulness stimulates emotions in women, and when you're playful, you allow them to build these fantasies in their mind to have something to think about, and they spend more time thinking about you. Most men are way too literal and way too scared of women to be playful and adventurous, which is why they're unable to attract women. Women want to believe that you're able to provide them with a fun and exciting lifestyle. Next is be more mysterious. Most men reveal way too much about themselves way too early. You need to have her thinking about you, similar to being playful. And when you're mysterious, you don't tell her everything. She's able to fantasize more about you and think about you, which is hard for them to do when they know everything about you already. Women derive pleasure from trying to figure you out, so you can't give away all the details of your personal life away too early. Both being playful and mysterious are all about stimulating emotions in women. Women need to be emotionally stimulated to feel attracted to you, which is different for men. It's better to make her mad at you than to have her be indifferent to you, because at least if she's mad at you, she knows who the fuck you are. Whereas most guys are just completely invisible to women, and women are just indifferent to them, so they don't care at all. One of the best ways to attract a woman is to use a mix of both positive and negative emotions to build that attraction. You always hear women complaining about these assholes that they date, but if the assholes didn't show any affection to the women at all, they wouldn't be dating. The asshole guys are just good at using the hot and cold approach to stimulate her emotions and make her attracted to him. The next behavior is to be ambitious and purposeful. Now we all know that women are attracted to rich guys, but if you can't be a rich guy, you at least can be ambitious and have a purpose in life, because that's often an indicator that you will be rich eventually. When a female dates an ambitious guy, she's treating him as an investment. Because of his ambition and his purpose in life, in the future, he'll be able to provide financial security for her. Women hate lazy guys because they are incapable of providing almost any value to the woman. The next pillar of attraction is status. And status is an undeniably attractive quality for women because a high status man is able to provide a lot of value for a woman. The first aspect of status is money. And it's not like you're going to be showing women your bank account, but most women can just tell how much you make just off of how you act and the way that you are. Women naturally like to be provided for by men, which is why they like men who have a lot of money. It provides them security, it gets them the things that they want, it allows them to start a family, and it solves a lot of her problems. Money is power, and women find powerful men attractive. Next aspect of status is fame, and fame is very hard to come by, but it's undeniably just a cheat code to attracting women. When you have fame, you have a much higher potential to get things from people, to make money, and to just get everything that you want. The next aspect of status is social network and influence. The reason for this is that if a tragedy or disaster occurs, a man with no network is going to have nobody to come help him out, whereas a man with a good social network will have plenty of people willing to come help him out in the time of tragedy. Having a good social network of people allows you to reach places that you wouldn't be able to reach without them. Next is prestige, and this one's pretty simple. Men with prestigious careers are more likely to make a lot of money and have more power. Next is clothing and dress, and this is because your clothing says a lot about your personality, your wealth, and your habits. Expensive clothing tells the other person you have a lot of money. Matching outfits says that you care about your appearance, and matching clothing indicates that you put effort into your appearance. The final aspect of status is social proof and pre-selection. Let's say you're in a club and you have a lot of women around you, and it's pretty obvious that they're attracted to you and respect you. That is social proof. When a woman sees that you're already popular with other women, it tells her that these women have already evaluated you and have already deemed you attractive. So she uses the opinion of other people to determine your attractiveness. Having lots of women attracted to you and having that social proof is like a 5-star review on Amazon. When you look at the reviews on Amazon, you're looking at the opinions of other people to determine the quality of the product, just like how pre-selection and social proof are a woman using other women to tell if you're an attractive partner. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Let me know if I should do the pillars of male attraction. Peace out.